Hello friends of Paperbound Knowledge Transfer, and welcome to another video, another book review on my channel. This one is the next installment in my series on books about the Falklands War. And today's book is Logistics in the Falklands War, a case study in expeditionary warfare by Kenneth L. Privratsky. The author was an officer in the US Army, and he took an interest in this topic many moons ago. Whilst pretty much every book about the Falklands War talks about the immense problems, logistically speaking, of trying to mount an operation some 13,000 kilometers away from the British home Isles, most of those books then pivot away rather fast to some more glamorous content, more sexy content, like stuff that makes things go boom or things that go boom. So this book is already special because it extensively talks about the many challenges posed to the British in trying to wage this campaign. As all my videos, this video is also organized in different chapters, which you can find in the timeline below or in this video description under the video. So let's now have a closer look at the book in question. Let us now talk about the structure and the content of the book. The book is structured in 12 main chapters, plus the usual forewords, preface, notes, bibliography, and so on. The author chose to cover the logistical side of the Falklands War in a chronological manner. As a consequence, the first real chapter talks about how the war came about, a bit of a background, and so on. And after that, every chapter deals with the main events of the war from a British perspective mainly, as they unfolded from a logistical standpoint. For example, the initial mobilization phase, or the landing at San Carlos and the subsequent building up of a logistical base there. Unusually for books on the Falklands War, the narrative doesn't stop at the end of the fighting, because the logistical challenges for the British right after the hostilities ended were still great. The book then ends with a chapter that reflects on the British experience and tries or does draw some lessons learned and some conclusions. In terms of illustrations, the book has a few photo pages in the middle of it and some maps at the front part of the book. And now for the part of the book where I talk about what I liked and what I disliked about this book. I do like the writing style, it's well to read in my mind. I also like that there's a lot of information in here that is very interesting and puts a lot of the other information that I have about the Falklands War a bit more into perspective, because the logistics were so important for this campaign, maybe even more than for some other campaigns. What I don't like is that the book doesn't cover the Argentinian side that much. As far as I remember, it's been a while since I read this book, but I think it would be very interesting to get some more information on that. Yes, they had a very much shorter supply line, but then there are many complicating factors, and so more information on that side is always good, and I think there's not that much in this book. And now for my personal final verdict on this book. I think all in all this is a brilliant book. It reaffirms the old saying that amateurs talk about tactics and experts talk about logistics. Especially at the current price point, I would absolutely recommend buying and reading this book. And now for my reading recommendations on books on the same kind of topic. The first one would be Merchant Ships at War, The Falklands Experience by Captain Roger Villa. It talks about all the merchant ships, civilian ships that took part in the Falklands campaign. Very interesting, quite an old book. You can pick it up quite cheaply online, I think, but well worth the read. The second one would be Amphibious Assault Falklands by Michael Clapp and Ian Samsby Taylor. Michael Clapp was the commander of the amphibious forces in the British amphibious forces in the Falklands War. And I think his book, of the books of the three commanders, the different commanders of the different forces, is the one that talks, I think, the most about logistics. And so it's most connected to this book that I just discussed. And the last book that I would like to recommend here is The Battle for the Falklands by Max Hastings and I think it's Simon Jenkins. That is a book that talks more generally about the entire campaign and gives you quite a good overview with a good price also used over the entire conflict. So that's my opinion on this book. Those are my reading recommendations, and I would be very interested to hear your opinion on this book, and I would be very interested to hear what kind of books you can recommend me from the thousands of books apparently having been written about the Falklands War. So if you have some suggestions or criticism maybe for me, put those in the comments, and it would be very nice. Up until then, thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day, have fun reading, and goodbye.